It's live prepper here, the World of Joan. I want to tell you something. I just listened to a video, watched a video of Jimmy Rants talk about it. There's people just don't like the name prepper, don't like being labeled that, don't like the name label being survivalist. Deal with it. Get over it. I want to tell you something more. This is what I want to talk to you about. People who chooses to prepare themselves or be preppers or survivalists or bushcraft gets targeted by idiots. Idiots. Neighbors that don't like what they do, because they don't follow in their little course thing. Idiots. So they're going to call the law. They're going to complain. Or the government's going to complain. Look at that one man wound up in jail. He got a permit, and then they took the permit away from him. He created, 2, 3 ponds from rainwater that he collected. They told him it was against the law. Do you know it's in some of these states listed that you're not allowed to collect rainwater? And it's proven fact that only 3% of the rainwater actually finds its way into the lakes and stuff. Most of it is washed away. You know why they don't want you making your own lakes? Why they don't want you collecting your own rainwater? They're not getting no money out of it. They ain't getting no money out. That's why. That's why. And then you got the neighbors that's complaining. Well, he's got rain barrels out. He's got bins collecting rainwater. She's collecting rainwater. We're offended by that. We don't like the way it looks. Kiss my grits. I want to just tell you, kiss my grits. Another guy got arrested down in Florida. He was called a survivalist. Got arrested for some kind of BS crap. I can't remember what it was. But they said he had traps all over the place and things set up to hurt people with. Come find out he didn't have none of that stuff. He would just want to live off the land, be left alone and live in peace. His family say, whoa, wait a minute. You don't have all that stuff. Y'all sit there saying a bunch of crap ain't even so. He's just living out there. He wants to be left alone. He wants to live in peace. He's a survivalist. This is how he has chose his life. What it is because they're not getting money. The woman in Florida that was going to get kicked out, she showed up on one of the TV shows, one of the prepper shows, talking about living totally off the grid. She had solar panel. She used propane things to cook with. She collected rainwater. They sent a notice and put on her. It was condemning the house. Was going to kick her out of her own house because she did not have lights and water hooked up. But then when there's a big issue occurred, I said, well, if you can prove everything's fine, we'll let you stay there if you can prove it. But I guarantee you, she had to go and hook up water that she's not going to use. She had to hook up the lights that she's not going to use. But I'll tell you what, hook up the lights, have the solar panels up, fix it, and you know what happens? They end up paying you. Because if you don't use all of that solar energy, it is converted back to them and they send you a check. If you are a prepper, a survivalist, a bushcrafter, or whatever, and you choose to do something different, I get so mad because I'm having issues. Other people's had issues. I'm not the only one. I hear from other people how you're not allowed to set these bins out here. You're not allowed to grow herbs out here. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to collect rainwater. The fact is, I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of these people who think they know more than everybody else. I'm sick of it. People, if you want to live off the grid, we should have the right to have solar power, wind power. We should have the right to collect our own rainwater. We should have the total right to live off the grid and live in peace if we so desire. If we want to grow our own herbs and our own plants, we should have the right to be able to grow them without getting in trouble. I am so sick of hearing these people dragging these people into court for some of this stuff. Communities that was some of them set up back during the hippie days, totally living off the grid, raising their own food, doing everything, constantly having problems with the government. Government's coming knocking on the door all the time, constantly having problems, saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, because they're not getting no money. They're not getting money from them. That's the problem. They're not getting it. And the thing is, and the bottom line, when it comes down to it, just like Jimmy Rant's saying, things are different now. It's not like it was in the 1950s when people canned and put up stuff. They didn't call them preppers back in. They didn't call them survivalists back in during those times. That was an everyday thing. Things are different now, like Jimmy Rant said. Look what's going on out there in the world. People's just whacking their heads off. They're doing all this stuff. And they're worrying about us. They're worrying about preppers and survivalists, and these neighbors are having fits because you choose to grow your plants. You choose to raise your food organic. I had a neighbor, my neighbor got so mad because one year all his plants was eaten up and mine wasn't. He got mad because I used newspaper under my bushes to keep the bugs away. Got mad because I hauled in leaves to use as compost on my plants for next year. This is what preppers do. We think ahead. We think outside of the box. We don't all run around with our little aluminum hats on or preaching the gospel that things going to happen tomorrow. And we're not all running around with a sign and saying gloom and doom. We see it on the news. We look at it. It upsets us. We're thinking about our families and our friends. What are we going to do? I mean, I'm a long way off from having a lot of stuff. I learn something new every day. I did a quick review on an herb book, and I found out Irish plants, roots, the benefits of it. Every day, I learn something new. I'm going to try to make it the best way I can. I want to survive the best way I can. I want to take care of myself the best way I can. I want to take care of my friends and my family the best way I can. And to hang with these people who's complaining and calls the law on you because you've got grain barrels, because you choose to have a compost pile, because you might have a bin, whatever, a warm compost bin. Yeah, I'm in trouble for that. Can you believe that? A warm compost in my backyard where nobody can see it, except this neighbor had to go over and snoop around. I got to move my compost bins. I raised my crops last year. What plants I raised, they came out huge, beautiful, 6-foot tomato plants. And part of what I put on them was the juice from my warm compost bins that I poured on my plants. All that nice natural food. How awesome is that? I'm sick and tired of these people labeling preppers and survivalists as idiots, as crazy, as aluminum hat crazy people. I don't have a bit of problem. I will put a aluminum hat on my head and walk down the street if I choose to. I have people look at me strange all the time. I save things. I recycle stuff. I'm sitting there always doing something. I am always learning. When I go out, a lot of times, especially during the summer months when spring's here and I'm researching on plants and learning more about stuff, you're going to find books in front of me. You can find me writing notes down. And I'm not the only one that does it. There's other preppers that does it. One of them, he told me he has a stack this high of stuff that he prints off, and he's always looking, research, always buying these little walkie-talkies. Don't ever know when you're going to need them. He prepares himself, prepares his family, because he sees so much. It's made him like it. I am sick to death of these people calling the law on people who chooses to prep, or survivalists, or bushcrafters. I'm sick and death of the government coming in telling you what you can and cannot do because they are not getting no money out of it. But a drug dealer will get less time than someone who wants to turn around and make their ponds up. He made ponds up. He put a sign there for fire emergency because they're the woods, the forest. So he put a sign there. This here is strictly for emergencies in case of fire. They put him in jail because of this. Ain't that a shame? This man built these ponds up, collected rainwater in them, and they're trying to claim that he took their water. He used their water to make these ponds. Ain't that something? He used Mother Nature rain. I'm so sick of these people out here thinking they know more. Now, some preppers do get out there, and they get out left wing. You do have some that's gun token happy son of a guns. You do have some of them that does a lot of the play soldier stuff. But most people, most are just trying to take care of their families. They're trying to put up some extra food, some extra water, whatever. They're taking care of their families. That's all they're doing. They're learning stuff. It's no different than me going out and grinding my herbs and sitting on top of the car letting my herbs dry and getting in trouble for it. How am I going to come up with $500? I don't have it, but I'm not going to plead guilty. If the Lord's willing, I'll come up with some money down the road. I'll do what I can, but I'm not going to plead guilty to something that I shouldn't be in trouble for. But just because a neighbor decided he wanted to fuss because I wouldn't kiss his you-know-what. They all can kiss my grits. I'm so tired of it. Jimmy Rant's tired of some of them, and other preppers are tired of them. I've heard them all talk about it. Get tired of these people dragging us into court over stupid things, labeling us with these names. I'm so tired of it. But the thing is, when it comes down to it, and you know as well as I do, if it does happen, and things do happen, who they're going to knock on the door? They're going to be looking for you to help them out. The very ones that had you in court, the one that cost you all that money, the very ones who put you in jail is going to be sitting there wanting you to help them. Help us take care of these people. Hey, I know we've had some problems, but I know we put you in jail over those ponds, but right now we can use the water from those ponds because the forest is on fire. Right now we can use your water to help take care of these people because your water's not contaminated, but the rivers and lakes are, but yours is. We can help. We can use your help right now. Kiss my grits. Ain't that something? They want help, but it suits their needs. Ain't that something? It just makes me mad. Just makes me mad. Guy just lives out middle of nowhere in Florida, wants to be left alone. Got arrested. Called him a survivalist. Called him this. Called him that. And his family was just tripping out, saying he had bombs rigged up and traps rigged up on the property. And the kid said, "No, I don't know where. I don't know what you're talking about, but there ain't nothing like that rigged up. He just wants to be left alone." These communities that totally lives off the grid, they're not happy. We want to get them arrested. Going to find something wrong with them. Got to do this. Got to change laws. Got to have ordinance. I mean, it's just BS crap. Bottom line. More and more people are becoming herbal preppers, suburban preppers. And more of them are getting targeted every day by the government or by the neighbors who just wants to fuss. I'm going to tell you what, all of y'all out there can kiss our grits, because I'm going to tell you something other. Even if things does totally happen real bad, most of these people out there ain't even going to give you a time of day. They're not even going to let you in that door. They're not going to be forgiven because they're going to remember all the times you got them drug into court, all the times you complained, all the times you raised a fit about something other. The same way with your government. You're going to sit there and want them to give you water off of your land, or you want them to give food off your land to help other people, and you're going to look at them like, you're crazy. Y'all ain't done nothing for me. All you've done is cause me problems. Cost me money that I didn't have to spend. So tired of these people, and I'm tired of the government going after preppers and other people who chooses to try to take care of their family in peace. This is Live Prepper, the World of Joan. I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.